Welcome to the full story of Beta Lumity and Doki Doki Takeover. This was this took over a year to make, not including the time that I just wasn't working on it. But there's just so much that happened that I don't want to get into it in this video. I said this in the last one, and the other ending one, but I'm not gonna get into it here. Like I did with Gura's graduation video, this story will be uploaded again, but without my yapping at the start of it. That's really all I gotta say, and enjoy the story. The following is an audio experience only. The story begins right after Follies of the Coven Day Parade. Luz and Amity, or as I will be referring to them in this story, Lucia and Amelia. Lucia got some sense talked into her by Amelia and Ida, or in Amelia's case, probably smacked into her. Just like in yesterday's live, Lucia is trying to make the portal to go back to the human world. This time, with some help from Winona and Amelia, Lucia was able to get a portal working, a proper portal working. After going in through the portal, just to properly see if it works, Lucia confirmed that this portal does in fact work. Maybe the coordinates may be off a bit because she may be in some Asian cultured area, whether it's in Asia herself or in Asia town or in some other city, it doesn't matter. Lucia can just use her phone and use the GPS app to find out where she is. After some planning, Amelia goes with Lucia through the portal. However, unbeknownst to them, as soon as they go through it, the door itself collapses on itself, leaving Lucia and Amelia separated from Ida, King, and Winona. As Lucia is checking her phone, she realized that she isn't getting any signal, which kind of confuses her. She's in a populated area, so she should be getting some signal. When Amelia turns back to where the door is, she noticed that the door is gone. She tells Lucia about it, and Lucia is kind of freaking out that there is no way back to the demon realm. Amelia calms Lucia down and that they should just continue with their original plan, to which Lucia agrees to. So they walk around, trying to get a better signal. As they're walking around, Lucia is noticing that the area that she's in is a school, which kind of makes sense that if she wouldn't get any signal, maybe the freaking school has one of those jammers or something. Either way, they walk around trying to find the entrance to the school. When they find the entrance of the school, they see a girl in a surprisingly different uniform than the other students here. Amelia notices that this girl looks kind of lost, so she decides to ask Lucia if they should ask her for directions, to which Lucia agrees to. They walk up to the girl and ask her if they know where they are. This girl at first looks surprised and asks them, "Wait, you're not from this game as well?" And after she says that, she immediately recoils back, thinking, "Oh no, did I just say that?" To her surprise, Lucia says, "We're in a game? Oh no, that means the portal didn't work. Fuck!" Amelia gets Lucia's attention to try to stop her from spiraling again like she did in Follies of the Coven Day Parade. After talking for a little bit, Lucia once again asks this girl if they're in a game, then what game are they? To which the girl closes her eyes and sticks both of her hands out. As the two look in confusion, they see what Lucia recognizes as a command prompt appear in front of her. After a string of texts go by in that window, she tells them that it seems that they are either in a visual novel or a rhythm game, which Lucia has the same reaction as she did before, because both of those games you can't really do any exploiter or something to get through it faster. So once again they stand there for a couple of minutes. After that few minutes has passed, Lucia just asks the girl, "Do you want to sing?" which confuses both Amelia and the girl. Lucia looks at them saying, "Look, we just waited a few minutes. If we were in a visual novel, something would have happened. Maybe we're in a rhythm game and this is what we need to do." After a few seconds, the girl just giggles and says that that's a smart way to go about this. "Sure, I love to sing. And normally I would sing when I'm playing the piano or something, but I don't mind this." "Cool. My name's Lucia, by the way. This is Amelia." "Lucia, Amelia, it is so nice to meet you. My name's Monica. If this is in fact a rhythm game, then these items do make sense to be in here." She pulls out a command prompt, a few code is texted into it, to which it spawns speakers and 2 microphones. Oh, cool. That's neat, Lucia says as she picks up one of the microphones. As Monica picks up the other microphone, Lucia says to her, "We may be doing this just to progress, but that doesn't mean I want you to hold back. Give me what you got." "Okay, I will." As the two start singing, Amelia hangs out near the speaker and just listening to them sing. She's surprised by Monica's singing voice. She's pretty good with it, but when she's paying attention to Lucia, she's reminded of one of the reasons why she fell for this girl. As the two are continuing singing, Amelia notices a crowd forming around them. However, Monica and Lucia do not notice this crowd, because as they keep singing, the more and more they get into it and the more they start spacing out everything. As they finish singing, Monica and Lucia looks proud of themselves. Monica was surprised that Lucia was able to keep up with her, and that she hasn't felt this happy in a while. Lucia says that she honestly didn't get to feel like just a normal human girl for a while either. It's not like that's a bad thing, but it kind of felt good to do this with another human. Monica agrees that it does feel nice to do this with someone real, and she asks if they could sing again, to which Lucia immediately agrees. But before they could start singing, someone else interrupts them. Everyone turns to see who was yelling, with one of the spectators yelling that it's Senpai. You see a man who looks incredibly pissed walk up to them. When he enters the little singing circle, his eyes immediately lock on to Lucia, and he seems to recognize her.
"You! What the hell are you doing here?"
"Me? Do I know you?"
"Don't act like you don't know me, worm. You didn't have enough making a fool out of me last time."
"Lucia, I thought you said you haven't been here before." "I haven't. I don't know who the hell this guy is." The guy looks over to Monica and notices the mic that she has. He questions how she has his microphone, to which Monica tries to defuse the situation, but the guy isn't giving her any attention. He yanks the microphone out of Monica's hand, points over to Lucia, and states that he's gonna settle the score with this little brat. We will see their senpai's point of view, and Lucia and Amelia's figures would be replaced with a short blue-haired boy with blue jeans, a red shirt, and a white hat, and a girl with red dress, red heel, and long brunette hair. Monica backs away from him as he has the crazy look on his face. Lucia says that if he wants to sing off, then fine. They should be happy beating him in this sing-off. Monica again tries to defuse the situation, but instead Lucia offers her mic to Monica, saying, "Come on, don't let this guy treat you like this. We can beat his ass real easy." As she says this, Monica stares at her longer than appropriate and agrees to sing with her. And so it kind of goes back and forth with Senpai, Monica, and Lucia, but really it's more Monica still trying to defuse the situation with her verse, but still might get some jabs at Senpai, while Lucia is going balls to the walls with her lyrics against Senpai. Amelia, who's still on the sidelines, is just enjoying this. As they finish the song, Senpai once again is extremely pissed. The fact that this girl, who not only stole his mic, but is teamed up with this worm that humiliated him last time, he is not going to take any chances of him. Because Monica walked up to him at the end of the verse, when he's about to go up to Lucia, Monica tries to stop him, but he just pushes her out of the way, causing her to land on her butt. At this point, Lucia is done playing around. She throws her mic and is about to go over to her backpack that Amelia has, but as she turns, she sees Amelia holding her bat as she tosses it to her. Lucia catches it and is ready to swing her bat at Senpai, but with Monica, she just laughs this off. Amelia just looks at her with a confused look. She notices that once again, Monica has the command prompt pulled up. Everything starts to go glitchy, to which Lucia notices that first with Senpai. When she looks around, she notices everything else is looking glitchy, and when she looks at Amelia, she sees her as well looking glitchy. She runs to her, but as soon as she reaches her, everything goes black. There. No more distractions. What just happened? Amelia! Don't worry about her. Come on, let's sing again, shall we?
Huh?
You bitch.
Answer me. What did you do to her?
Hey, let's not worry about her, okay? Come on, I have a very special song I want to sing.
I'm not singing shit with you until you bring back my girlfriend.
Girlfriend? One more song. Before Lucia even has a chance to respond, Monica starts singing. When the screen comes back, we would be in the same classroom from the Just Monica phase in DDLC, with Monica being gigantic and is sitting at the desk, while Lucia is smaller but on the desk. As Monica's singing, Lucia reaches into her jacket, but is surprised when she doesn't feel what she's looking for. She looks around her person again, but she doesn't find what she's looking for. After taking a moment or two to think on what to do now, she hawks up a loogie and spits on the desk, and starts drawing with said spit. Monica looks at her with some disgust at what she's doing. We will see that Lucia is in fact drawing a glyph, specifically an ice glyph. When she slams her hand on the glyph, it will spawn a pillar of ice, basically bringing her to eye level with Monica. She draws a plant glyph on the ice and launches it towards Monica. As Lucia runs across the plants, she once again spits another loogie into her hand and starts drawing a glyph on it.
Monica glitches out the plants and deletes it.
As Lucia is falling, she changes the glyph that she was drawing on her hand into a plant glyph so she can catch herself on the pillar of ice that she made earlier. When she pulls herself up to the top of the ice pillar, she once again draws more glyphs on the ice. She has drawn multiple fire glyphs which she plans to activate and fire at Monica.
As she does this, Monica realizes that
Lucia is not gonna cooperate with her. I should have known better. Of course you wouldn't sing with me. I got rid of someone you love. Okay, I'll leave you be. The screen will flash to once again at the school. Lucia looks around in surprise that Monica actually did bring him back. Lucia hears Amelia calling to her, to which when she sees her, Lucia runs to her with so much joy that she lifts her up and twirls her like Luz does to Amity. When Lucia puts Amelia down, Amelia brings her in for a kiss as they fade away from the school, leaving only Monica with Senpai to have the same conversation as they would in the actual mod.
Lucia and Amelia appears in the literature club dressed in the uniform. They look around, unsure what just happened. That is until three girls catch their attention. These three girls are Sayori, Natsuki, and Yuri. Oh, it appears that we have some guests. It's about time you brought someone in, Sayori. It's a good thing I wasn't a boy. This wasn't me. I didn't put up any flyers yet for our club. Lucia, where are we? I have no idea. If I knew we were expecting more members, I would have asked Natsuki to bake some cupcakes. Oh, I've also could have asked Yuri to make some tea as well. Oh, I need to write this down for later then. Plan a tea party for the club soon. It sounds like you're very excited about our new guests, Sayori, but we don't even know their names yet. Right, silly me. What's your name? Oh, me? My name's Lucia. This is my girlfriend, Amelia. Girlfriends, huh? I can see it. Even though you both look like misfits. You know, like you wouldn't really be dating or anything like that. Well, you're not wrong there. Hey, you literally decked me in the face when we first met, Amelia. That's fair. I like them. They seem pretty cool. As long as you two don't cause trouble, everything will be fine. I'm Sayori. The lovely lavender girl over there is Yuri. And Natsuki's a short pink one. Hey! Now that introductions aside, can I ask what that bat in that bag is for? They all look to see Lucia's bag with her bat sticking out right next to her leg. Oh yeah, what is that for? I hope you didn't come to use that to destroy the place. Oh, this? Lucia says as she pulls out the bat from her bag. I always keep this bad boy with me wherever I go. Let's just say the place we're from is not very friendly. Wow, that sounds like a smart idea. No, never mind. A beat hangs for a bit as Lucia takes in what Natsuki stops herself from saying. Look, we're not here to join any club or anything. We don't even know where we are. We just want to go home, okay? Amelia's right. We had a run-in with somebody and now we're here, so if you can help us, that'd be great. Oh, really? Where are you from? I hope it's not offending you when I say this, but are you perhaps from America? You look Western. Yeah, I'm from Connecticut, actually. And Amelia, she's from New York. New York, huh? From what I've heard, that place isn't really friendly. Well, we can't really help right now, but with some time we can definitely help you. In the meantime, you can still be part of the club. You know what? Forget planning that. We can have this now. Have what now? The literature club party. I know what we can do. We can all go out and bond with each other. You know, like go to like a arcade or something like that. That'd be so great. I don't think that's a good idea. Come on, Yuri. It'll be fun. We all haven't hung out in a while. That is a good reason. And it's settled. Literature club party on way. Banzai! As the girl leaves the classroom, Lucia and Emilia follows behind them, all the way till they reach an arcade. The arcade is basically like a Dave & Buster's or whatnot. Throughout the party that the club is having, Lucia and Emilia grows closer to each of the girls. With Sayori, they are seeing that she's such an hyperactive type of person and that she can radiate sunshine. Lucia's a little bit jealous of Sayori because she remembers when her mother said that Lucia used to do that as well. But now look at her, feeling sorry for herself because of the life that it seems that society has given her. But when you look at what she gained from that, a second mother in Ida, a little brother from King, her best friend and wingman Winona, and her girlfriend Emilia, she honestly would not trade it for the world. So because of that, Lucia and Sayori gets along very well. Emilia can see that Lucia has a lot in common with Sayori, and honestly it kind of warms her heart to see her girlfriend like this. It makes her wonder what would have happened if they met a lot sooner, when Lucia didn't really have hate in her heart, and Emilia just wasn't broken by her mother. Will Lucia be like Sayori, just radiating sunshine like this? She doesn't dwell too long on the what if, but it's a nice thought that she likes to have. And if seeing her girlfriend like this, even if it's just for a moment, it really is nice. When it comes to Natsuki, Lucia and Emilia are basically seeing that, yeah, Natsuki is basically like them, and Natsuki will most likely thrive in the bowling aisles. When it comes to playing fighting games, she's definitely like a hardcore gamer. She'll shit talk you so much, she'll mock you, heck, she'll even blame her stupid controls whenever she loses. But above all else, when it comes to the game, she is really competitive. And that is something that both Emilia and Lucia are very fond of. They can easily see Natsuki being part of their friend group with Winona, especially with mocking her with her height and cuteness, which they learn pretty quickly that Natsuki absolutely hates being called cute. When it comes to Yuri, they try to get along with her throughout the arcade, but Yuri isn't really having that much fun when it comes to the arcade. Yeah, she does like playing like the more puzzle-esque game, but that's really all the closest they can get with Yuri. They know that breaking down Yuri's wall is definitely going to be the toughest one. And Sayori is noticing this too, so she comes up with another plan. She gathers the club into a room in the arcade. You see, wasn't that fun, everyone? I gotta admit, this was a pretty awesome day. I'll say. Especially what I had to go through earlier. This is a great way to unwind. So I did a good job then. I'm so happy to hear you two enjoying yourselves. It is my duty to make sure everyone in the club has a bright, happy smile. After all, I am the club's president. Lucia and Emilia notices a glitching effect happening as she says this. At first they thought they were just seeing things, but they kind of keep that in the back of their mind for later. And I feel like the last thing we should do before we calling it a night is do some karaoke. Karaoke? No way! I've always wanted to do this. What's karaoke? You don't know what karaoke is? Should I? Karaoke is when you sing a song without the lyrics playing. Oh, so that's what it's called here. What, is it called something else in New York? Don't worry about it, alright? Lucia says as she leans over to the three. She's a rich, privileged girl. I am anything but privileged, and you know that. I know, I'm just messing with ya. As they released the group to one of the karaoke rooms, we would cut back to Monica and Senpai, who has just finished a song that they would have played in the original mod. Not only had Monica and Senpai have sang the same song that they would have in the actual mod, they would also have the same exact conversation. We would cut back to the group in a karaoke room with some food on the table and Sayori going up with a mic. Sayori hands Lucia a microphone because the song that Sayori chosen is like a duet. Emilia chose not to sing with Lucia for this song because of the comment that Lucia had made. She isn't hurt by the comment, she's mainly doing this out of spite. And so Lucia and Sayori start singing this song together. And Natsuki and Yuri are kinda in awe by not only Sayori but with Lucia's singing voice as well. Amelia, seeing these two in awe, gives them a shit-eating grin that says, "Yep, that's my girlfriend." While Lucia and Sayori is singing, for a brief moment, Lucia and Amelia would see Sayori being hung from a rope, which startles the shit out of them. They look around, and Lucia and Amelia notices that the rest of the group are acting like nothing happened. They look to each other with a kind of concerned face that says, "Did we just really see that?" Lucia turns back to Sayori and she has a concerned look on her face that says, "Is everything okay?" Lucia shakes her head and continues singing, with Sayori following her. As the song ends, Sayori goes to her seat and picks up a drink. Natsuki and Yuri are praising Lucia for her singing, as well as praising Sayori for her singing as well. Sayori says that Natsuki should go up there too, and Natsuki is kinda hesitant. "Come on, shorty, if you need someone to hold your hand, I can do that." "Hey, don't call me that. I don't need your hand. I can sing on my own." "Really? Because unless I was mistaken, didn't a couple of people mistake you for like a middle schooler or something?" "Shut up!" "Aw, look at her. So cute." "Ah, stop it. I am not cute." "Sayori, give me that pad. I'll show you that I'm not cute. Would a cute person choose this song?" As she selects the song, she picks up the mic and goes to the front of the room, with Lucia following her. As they start singing, Lucia and Amelia are just giving Natsuki a shit-eating grin, because the song that apparently Natsuki is choosing does sound pretty adorable, but once the beat drops, it surprises them by how hard it is, to which Natsuki starts giving them a shit-eating grin. But Lucia just gives her another grin, as it says, "Alright, I'll play along." And so they go back and forth with this song. Sayori and Yuri are just staring at Natsuki with awe when it comes to the song. To them two, Natsuki did break their expectation. As her singing comes to an end, Natsuki is starting to look a little sick. I think I went a bit too hard on there. I'm gonna sit down." "Don't push yourself too hard, Natsuki. Come on, just rest for a bit." "Yeah, that sounds like a good idea." "Sure you're gonna be alright?" "Yeah, I did have fun though." "I was right about you. You really are just like me." "Yeah, honestly, I think you would survive where me and Amelia were." "Yeah, I heard New York was pretty rough. I'm kinda used to being roughed up." Lucia and Amelia hears her. They both share a concerned look. "Well, Yuri, looks like you're the only one left to sing." "Me? What about Amelia?" "Oh, that's right. Come on, babe. What did I tell you about calling me that? Come on, babe. Come sing, babe." "Keep calling me that, I won't sing." "Fine. So, Yuri, what do you say? You gonna sing or what?" I know you can do it, Yuri. I bet you have one of the nicest singing voice out of all of us." Oh my. First having to read my poems out loud to the club, and now this? Oh, this club continues to ask so much of me." She picks up the pad and selects a song. As she selects a song, she grabs the mic that was set on the table and walks to the front, with Lucia following behind her. As the song starts up and Yuri starts singing, everyone is in awe by Yuri's voice. So much so that when Amelia looks at Lucia, she sees the same look that Lucia gave her when she saved her from her mother's abomination. Feeling jealous, she gets up, walks over to the front of the stage, grabs the mic out of Lucia's hand, and starts singing her verse, which was supposed to be Lucia's verse. Everyone's in shock that Amelia just did this, but after a few seconds, Lucia immediately knows what's going on. She gives her a shit-eating grin, to which when Amelia sees it, she just flips Lucia off. Lucia chuckles and goes to her seat. Now it's Yuri and Amelia's singing this song. To everyone else, it's just pure perfection and loveliness. Their voices matching the song. Lucia is just enjoying this, especially her girlfriend's voice. It is so lovely to her. As the song ends, Sayori is praising Amelia and Yuri for their singing. Lucia also shares her amazement for their singing, but unfortunately, the night had to be cut short due to Natsuki feeling more sick. Everyone turns to Natsuki with concern. "Natsuki, are you okay?" I'm not feeling too good. I'm not feeling too good. Well, then I guess we should call it a night then. I'm glad we all spent today together. I'll take Natsuki home. Yuri, you'll be right to walking home, right? Yes, of course. And what about you two? Oh, don't worry about us. We're fine. Okay. I'll take Natsuki home then. See you tomorrow. And with that, Sayori and Natsuki left. Yuri shortly follows after them, leaving Amelia and Lucia alone in the room. Okay, we just saw that, right? Yes, we did. There is something wrong with this place. There is no way those two did not notice that. Monica. What about her? Monica did some weird glitchy thing. She said that she deleted you. That she deleted everyone except me and her. Is she doing this? I don't know what you mean, but she just let us go. She didn't seem like the type to torture. Maybe she's just playing mind games with us. Let's just find a place to rest, to go to sleep, alright? We'll tackle this in the morning. Where are we gonna sleep? How good is your lockpicking skill? Very good. Why? They returned to the school as Amelia lockpicks the front door. Really? We're gonna sleep in a school? Do you have a better option? We could have stayed over there. It was a karaoke room, not a motel room. And we don't even have any money, so we can't even afford a hotel. Guess you're right. Door's open, by the way. Cool. Let's just go to the same club room and just sleep for there. Dude, should we keep watch? Don't worry. I can summon an abomination to keep watch for us. Cool. I guess I can use a plant glyph to make us like a pillow and some covers. We're acting like we're camping. We basically are camping. Yeah, camping in a school. And so, they turn in for the night in the club room. They wake up the next day to see Yuri looking over them. You two are awake. Did you two not get enough sleep? Both Lucia and Amelia look at each other with confusion. Do they have morning clubs? Yeah, I'd say we did. Amelia's looking around and noticing that there is no trace of her abomination. She looks at the little flask that she would have on her and see that the goo is all in there. The abomination would not have returned to her flask without her input. She tunes back into the conversation that Lucia and Yuri is having. Natsuki isn't really feeling too well, so Sayori had to cancel the club meeting today. Good thing I found you two here. Yeah, it's a good thing. An awkward silence lasted for about a moment until Yuri speaks again. You know, I had fun singing last night. It's a shame that I didn't get to sing with you, Lucia. Yeah, it's a shame. Especially with how good your voice was. Yeah. This is a really good alternative way to release my emotion. Let's sing again. Right now. Right now? Yes. Here, I can pull up a song right now. She pulls out her phone and starts pulling up a song from there. Lucia and Amelia share a concerned look. Amelia leans over and says to Lucia, something's not right. My abomination was back in his flask and it would not have returned without my input. Yeah, something's definitely wrong. I can keep Yuri distracted. Just make sure nothing tries to jump us or anything. Yeah, I'll do that. And so, Yuri and Lucia start singing. At first, it is just like a normal, soft-spoken song. And as it was going on further like that, Lucia starts to think that maybe she's just paranoid. However, she's proven immediately wrong when it seems that everything's starting to take in the wrong direction. Not only with the music, but with Yuri singing as well. Lucia sings hesitantly. After a brief pause, everything goes dark, with all you're hearing is Yuri's breathing. Lucia pulls out and activates a light glyph, just in time to see Yuri in her face with this obsessive look on her as Yuri continues singing. Lucia was surprised by this and tries to back up, but Yuri has her pinned down. She looks around for Amelia but can't see her in the dark, and she doesn't have her bat near her, so she pulls out an ice glyph and makes a club out of it to bash Yuri away from her. As Yuri falls to the ground, Lucia pulls out multiple light glyphs and activates them all to spread them around the room. And what she sees is the terrifying sight of her girlfriend. Her neck snapped at a 90-degree angle, twitching, just like how Natsuki's was. Lucia hears Yuri gets up, and when she turns, she sees Yuri pulls out a knife and to start charging at her. Lucia readies her ice club to try to beat Yuri, but it seems Yuri definitely knows how to use her knife, and thus breaking her ice club. Lucia finds her bat and starts using it, activating some of the glyphs on there, like the light glyph, the fire glyph, the plant glyph. Some of those glyphs are activating as she's fighting with it. Lucia is able to knock out Yuri with a light glyph and her bat swinging right to her face. With the last thing she hears is Yuri's crazy laugh. What the fuck? What the fuck? Yuri, what the fuck? No, that's impossible. Don't stop now. Why must we stop? We were having so much fun singing. Let me scream every lyric trapped in my sick head.
I'll beat everything out of your sick fucking head, Yuri.
As Lucia charges Yuri, everything seems to stop, with Sayori seemingly appearing out of nowhere in front of Yuri. Lucia stops when she sees Sayori. You weren't meant to see that. Sorry. What? She looks around and sees that the classroom has changed to the same classroom that Monica had brought her to. No, not again. I appreciate you sticking around with us, singing and playing with us. We had so much fun. You made us the happiest in such a long time, especially after what Monica did to us. Monica. So I was right. Monica is doing all this. No, she didn't. At least not anymore. Not anymore. Then, yep, that's me. It's all me. If you were to have known all that, then you must have been the one to have deleted her. Deleted? Then you must be the one who brought us all back together too. What the fuck? No, I didn't. I knew that you and your girlfriend weren't from around here. Your data is so much different. Not to mention your file name. Character design Luz? Character design Amity? Shut up. Shut up! You two never really existed until just a few moments ago when we first met. Could you have done the impossible? Have you broken through the digital world from the real world? Shut up! Shut the fuck up! You have. You defied all logic and science. Just for us. You used your magic just for us. You made us so happy. Now that you're finally here, we can all be happy together. We can play and sing together. Forever. Forever. Amelia. The literature club? I do admit, I never fancied myself the reading or writing type. That must come as quite a shock to many, when they all say I have such a way with words. And they are so right. That club meant everything to me. It was my chance to finally get people invested in this world of endless possibilities that I find myself so engrossed in. It brought people who wouldn't have ever interacted with each other in any other circumstances together. Those people became my friends. My best friends. My only friends. Something must have driven you away from all that. To a whole new school, for that matter. I was caught in a epiphany. Nothing in my life was real, and I desperately wanted this one thing that was truly real. I was given a window to something greater, but the world was set up to make me watch everyone else have what was on the other side. My friends, Sayori, Yuri, Natsuki, they were allowed to have the one thing I wanted. So you got rid of them. Just like you tried here, huh? Sorry. I'm sorry to let my action carry over here when I thought I learned my lesson. Well, you did bring us all back, and as good as ever, so no hard feelings here. I guess so. I just hope nothing wrong happens here because of it. Before I ended up here, I also brought all my friends back, and I planned to just stay gone with my data completely erased, so they could be happy. But things didn't work right when everyone wasn't present. And that's still true of me not there. I made a mistake. Monica? What's happening to you? This is bad. I gotta... What's Lucia doing there? Damn it. I don't know how she and her girlfriend got there, but my friends are acting like this. I gotta fix this. Somehow. What in the fresh hell is this? There's gotta be something. Something. If my character data is acting up too, even from here, then there's a chance that I still have some residual data over there. Maybe if I just try this. And just like that, the only one to ever truly intrigue me has left in a flash. Woe is me. What am I saying? This shit sucks!
I made a mistake. I gotta fix this. Somehow. Wait, that kid is there too? Damn it. If my friends are acting like this is really bad. If my character data is acting up too, even from here, then there's a chance I still have some residual data over there. Maybe if I just try this. It didn't work.
We will start off at the literature club. Natsuki just came out of the closet with some manga, Yuri is making tea for everyone, and Amelia and Lucia are sitting at one of the tables with Lucia's arm wrapped around Amelia. Sayori walks in, as bright as ever. She brought snacks for everyone and hands them out. Yuri states that this was perfect timing for Sayori, and so Sayori and Yuri hands out snacks and tea for everyone to chat with. Amelia tells them that joining the literature club was one of the best things that happened to them. She hasn't felt this happy since she and Lucia started dating. Lucia agrees. While Lucia does like her time in the bowling aisle, it is nice to do something normal again. She especially likes teasing Natsuki for her shortness. She says as she pats Natsuki's head. Natsuki slaps her hand away and just glares at her. Sayori says that she's glad that they joined too. Now with them two joining the club, the literature club is an official club according to the school. Lucia just chuckles at this. A moment of silence passes as everyone is enjoying their tea and snack. Natsuki asks Sayori what she plans to do today for the club, to which Sayori says that maybe they should check out that Azora book that Lucia and Amelia has been talking about. Amelia says, finally! It's about time you checked out this book. Isn't that right, babe? Yeah, that's right. Hey, did you call me babe? What's wrong with that? You don't like when I call you babe, or when you say the word. Huh. Maybe I just got used to it. Lucia brings her head down to her hand as she rubs her forehead, trying to get rid of a headache. When she opens her eyes and looks up again, she sees that the club room has turned into something else. The lighting is more reddish, outside the window is like space, and the club room is basically empty save for stuff against the wall. When she looks around, she only notices Sayori. She seems to be in a different outfit, what looks to be pajamas. And even though Lucia doesn't notice it, Sayori has a mark around her neck. Sayori? What happened? Where are we? Oh, I see you figured it out. I guess it's my fault. Guess I should have paid attention when we were at karaoke. Your fault? Wait, are you saying this is your doing? Yeah. But don't worry, I'm just trying to let us live in bliss before it's over. Before it's over? What are you talking about? What are you doing? Don't worry, Lucia. This is for your sake. For all of our sakes. You just let it take over. What? I said it's about time they read the book. Jeez, maybe you should get rid of that beanie of yours. Maybe it's blocking your hearing or something. This girl. So, do you have the book with you guys? I really want to start reading it. Ooh, maybe we can even go shopping for the book. Yeah. I have it right here in my bag. Did what you just see was real? Was she hallucinating? Lucia reached into her bag, still kind of confused, and pulls out the Azora book. She stares at it for a few moments. She brings it up to the table, but before setting it down, she looks at everyone. Everyone else is looking at her expectantly. She looks at the book again and just says, no. Huh? What do you mean no? I mean no. Sayori, I'm not gonna let this happen. She throws the book to the ground and stands up, knocking her chair over. Everyone else looks at her in surprise. Wait, what are you talking about? You don't want to share your book? She slammed her hand on the table. Cut the crap, Sayori! I am not gonna live in this lie as you, I don't know, kill us all or something. Everything seemed to freeze except for Sayori. She closed her eyes and brings her head down. I was hoping you wouldn't say that. The classroom once again turns into this red-lit, empty room. Sayori and Lucia's outfit has changed. Once again, Sayori in what looks to be her pajamas, and Lucia in her classic green jacket, pants, and striped white and purple undershirt. I don't know why you're fighting this, Lucia. It'd be so much better for you as your file gets deleted. You could just live in happiness and just not have to worry about any troubles at all. No troubles about being in a game. No trouble about knowing your life is a lie. Or in your case, not having to worry about disappointing your mother or being an outcast or just not being good enough. It doesn't matter if my life wasn't ideal. It's what you do afterwards. I'll admit, after camp it was hell. It was like when I found out I was bi all over again. I couldn't be myself. I had to put on a mask of normalcy. It was terrible. But I finally found a place who accepted me, who made my life feel like it was worth living. If I just let myself wallow in that lie that I let myself believe in that unhealthy obsession, then I would have just been dead, like what you're trying to do. Do you really believe that all of that can make your life better? When you're haunted by the past of your shadows? When the rain clouds just won't go away? Always taunting you? Always telling you everything's wrong with you? And that every single day you hear those voices in your head non-stop. Tell me, Lucia, can you really go on living with all that playing in your head constantly? And you have the power to not only stop it, but stop the pain from all your friends as well? I thought I could help you too, Lucia. Maybe you need a reminder of what I'm trying to save you for. Pulling up the console, Sayori puts in a few lines of code. Lucia, seeing the console, knows what Sayori's about to do. She charges for Sayori, trying to punch her, but before she can even make it halfway to Sayori, she hears voices that she hasn't heard in months. Voices from the student of the school from the human realm. Voices of their principal and voices of her mother. All of them telling Lucia, why can't she just be normal? Why are you like this? Why are you need to get your life together? Being different is not right. She grips her head and shakes it, trying to get the voice out of her head, but it is no use. The voice just keeps coming and coming, bringing Lucia down to her knees. As she's trying to shut the voices up, tears starts pouring out of her eyes. For a brief moment, the voices stop. She lets her hand away from her head as she collapses even further to the ground, supporting herself on her hands. What the? You see, Lucia? I'm trying to help you. Let me help you. Yeah. Just hearing all that constantly is hell. These rain clouds, as you say. They can definitely just make you feel life isn't worth living. But I was never one to back down. Sayori, what you're doing is wrong, and I will not stand for it. I guess the rain clouds will turn to storms then. I'm sorry, Lucia. As Sayori says that, the voices once again start coming back. And once again, Lucia has to bring her hands up to her head, trying to block out the voice. However, this time, the voices are more intense. She now hears voices from the demon realm, telling her basically the same thing. And what's even worse is that she's starting to hear her own voice, voices of her own self-doubt. As Lucia is trying to break away from this voice, Lucia feels something impalm one of her hands. Quickly, she brings one of her hands to her face and sees what looks to be a scar in her hand. At first, it makes her panic even more. For a short period of time, she used to cut herself, but when she calms her mind a bit, she noticed that the scar on her palm isn't just any normal scar. It is a light glyph. Slamming her hand into the ground, the light starts pulling from her palm. As she pulls her hands up, a big flash happens, causing Lucia to fall on her back. When she regains a sense of what is happening, she notices immediately that the voices are gone. She looks around and is not noticing Sayori. She looks around and sees Amelia. She runs over to her and holds her as she's on the ground, twitching. Amelia, come on, wake up, wake up. A moment of silence passes before she hears a laugh. She once again looks around for this laugh. That is until she feels herself being tackled. She lands on her back with somebody above her. When she opens her eyes, she sees a crazed look of Yuri. Yuri is pinning her to the ground. Lucia tries to break free of it, but Yuri is surprisingly strong. Noting that her foot is free, she brings it up and kicks Yuri off of her. She rolls on her back to get away from Yuri. As she stands up, she looks around for her bat. She looks up and sees Yuri charging at her with a knife. She's able to dodge the strike. However, Yuri immediately swings back at Lucia. She's able to prevent herself from getting stabbed in the head, but not without taking any damage. She outraised her arm to try to block it, which she did, but ends up getting cut in her arm. Staggering, she holds her arm where Yuri cut her. Before she regains her footing, once again Yuri attacks her, and Lucia is left to dodge once again, and just like last time, she gets another cut. Yuri is relentlessly attacking Lucia. Lucia can only dodge and block the attack, which leaves her with a bunch of cuts. Her arm right now is just as bad as Yuri's is. In fact, not only is her arm getting cut, but her hands and body is getting cut as well. Yuri has been able to get a few stabs in, but it's nowhere near something vital, nor is it deep. Lucia can't really attack. After a few more dodges, Lucia thinks of something. She is bleeding, but just like her last battle with Yuri, she used an ice glyph to summon like a club made of ice. She can do the same thing, she just needs to draw the glyph with her blood. And so during the many dodges that she had to do against Yuri, she would have multiple attempts, many failed, at drawing an ice glyph. After she finally gets one, she uses it and starts fighting against Yuri. But just like before, Yuri is stronger. Trying to look around for something that can help her, she immediately notices that there is a large splatter of blood, her blood. Thinking quickly, she immediately thinks of a plan right there and there. It's gonna take some time and many attempts, but she can do this. She just needs to stay alive. And so, once again, she's playing defensively against Yuri. However, this time, she's splattering her blood against the floor and is smearing said blood with her foot. Of course, during the battle, the plan that Lucia is trying to do is obviously being messed with during the fight. So she would have to go back and fix them. As she finished this, she is able to quickly draw an ice glyph on herself and is able to use it to push Yuri against one of the wall. Lucia jumps to the other wall, panting with heavy cuts. Yuri charges in for one final attack. However, Lucia slams on the pattern that she was drawing from her blood. It is a huge ice glyph. She sends that huge ice spell to Yuri, which destroys the wall that Yuri was up against and sends her flying. Lucia sees out of the destroyed wall. She is panting, heavily exhausted, and is running low on blood. She notices that where the wall was destroyed, it is starting to look glitchy. She isn't able to register that before she collapses from blood loss. What? Why isn't this working? Come on, come on! Okay, calm down. Calm down, Monica. Think. What did you learn from messing with the files? You cannot just delete something from the game, or else the game would break. You cannot just add something to the game because it cannot connect to the game. You can do both as long as you have the code either fill the gap or just be able to connect what you add. Without one of the parts of the game, it will start to break. The game can't reject a new file because if it doesn't work, then it'll just ignore it. Wait. A game can't reject a file. If a game can't reject a file, then someone is rejecting me. Oh no. Oh no. Lucia! If I can't put myself in the game, then hopefully I can still access the files. Let me see. Yes! Oh no, the game is 70% gone. It's a good thing Lucia and Amelia have large files. Unfortunately, Amelia's file is largely gone. Lucia, I can work with her. She needs to go after Sayori. Lucia, please. Flashes of her life starts appearing before her eyes. The time she spent with her mother and father, being a happy family. The time her father introduced her to the Azura books. The nice moments that she would have with just her and her mother after her father's death. Having her lessons with Ida. Her time with King. Of meeting her best friend Wyona for the first time. Of her Wyona getting into some trouble. Of every aftermath of each fight with Emilia. Of her and Emilia getting together. Of her and Emilia sharing their first kiss. And of course, of her promise to her mother that she will return. As that memory fades, the words "Get Sayori" appears to her. Once it does, Lucia immediately picks herself up. After looking herself over, she sees that all her cuts and gashes are gone. She doesn't feel as drained as when she passed out. When she looks around, she sees Sayori keeping her eye on the console. Once again looking around, Lucia spots her bat close by. She reaches for it and grabs it, and she runs up to Sayori, ready to swing her bat against Sayori's head. However, Sayori notices her just as Lucia is about to swing it against her. Time seems to slow down as Sayori spawns in Natsuki. Natsuki charges against Lucia, causing her to stagger back. Natsuki starts swinging at Lucia, getting in a few hits before Lucia can right herself. As she does, she starts able to block and counter some of Natsuki's attack. However, what's throwing her off is that Natsuki's face seems to be covered in what looks to be lead scratch mark. Lucia has been in her fair share of fights. However, with Natsuki, not only is she much faster and glitching out, but Natsuki is able to rack up a lot of hits on Lucia. This goes on for a few more seconds until Natsuki lands one powerful punch, sending Lucia to the ground. Sayori watches on with a smile on her face. Not a malicious smile, but with a smile that says, "Now we're done." Monica, who is watching from the void, just looks on in terror. Her last hope is gone. As Natsuki walks up to Lucia, Lucia is struggling to pick herself back up. She reaches for her bat once again, however she's not making a move at all. And for a few seconds, nothing seems to happen. Until, out of nowhere, Lucia just swings her bat up at Natsuki, knocking her off her feet. Lucia's face is now like Natsuki's. His eyes have been scratched out with pencil lead, but with a crazed smile on her face and blood falling like tears from where her eyes should be. With that crazed smile on her face, she just smashes her bat into Natsuki over and over, blood splattering up from where Natsuki was. Sayori watches in horror at what she just did to Lucia. Monica, who is watching from the void, is also surprised at what happened to Lucia. After Lucia finishes bashing Natsuki's head in, her head snaps to Sayori, who flinches in surprise. Lucia dashes towards Sayori, trying to smash her head in, but Sayori is able to dodge and block any attacks from Lucia. While this is happening, Monica is trying to once again force herself back into the game. However, it seems Sayori is still having enough attention to keep her out. This isn't enough. This goes on for a few more moments, till Lucia drops her bat and once again brings her hands up to her head. She's frantically moving, trying to get any voices out of her head. Sayori steps back as she sees what is happening. This means Lucia's data is almost completely gone now. Lucia tries to shake the voices out of her head for a few more seconds until she seemingly just accepts it. She collapses to her knees and brings her head down, accepting what happens next. Sayori walks up to Lucia and puts her hand on her cheek. "I didn't want this for you. I really didn't. I gave you the option to live in that world I so desperately wanted. A world where nothing bad happens. But it seems you just didn't want to listen. I'm sorry that you had to go out this way." Monica watches on in horror. She can't let this happen. She just can't. Once again, she's trying to force herself back in, but she's being rejected every single time. She just can't let this happen. She needs to get in there, but she can't. To her surprise and Sayori's surprise, something slams into Sayori, encasing her body. They don't know what it is because it's just a mismatch of glitchiness. Sayori looks up and sees that it is Emilia who attacked her. "Stay away from my Lucia!" Monica, who is also in shock, sees that this is the opportunity that she needs. She doesn't have enough time to gradually put herself in, so she needs to put all of her file ins at once. She just prays to whatever deity that there is that this doesn't crash the game. For if the game crashes in this state, then they're basically in an eternal torment. Lucia lifts her head up and sees Amelia controlling what would have been an abomination. After a few seconds, Amelia just collapses to the ground, dead. Amelia! Lucia picks herself up and runs over to her. When she reaches her, she kneels down and she picks up her lifeless body. Amelia. She looks up and sees Sayori falls off the wall and onto her feet. Sayori looks up at them with a look of acceptance. It's over. Lucia looks around and sees Natsuki dead on the ground. She sees Yuri dead on the ground. And Sayori, who just has the look of acceptance on her face, collapses to the ground, dead. Lucia holds on to Amelia's lifeless body as tears fall from her eyes. She holds her. Amelia, I'm sorry. I love you, she says as she collapses. Monica appears in an almost completely deleted classroom. She looks around and sees that everyone is dead. No, I'm too late. No. She collapses to her knees, sobbing. Monica? Monica opens her eyes and looks to where Lucia is. She sees Lucia alive, but with lifeless eyes. Lucia! She runs over to Lucia. She's able to pull up the console command and sees that Lucia's files is 99% deleted. She can work with this. Bringing up the command prompt, she writes some codes in it. Lucia and Amelia has teleported in. They look around confused. That is until 3 girls walks up to them. Before any of them could say anything, another person runs up right behind Lucia and Amelia. It is Monica. Monica, we've been waiting for you. It's not like you to be this late to a club meeting. It also appears that you brought some new members with you. And they're both girls too. It's a good thing you didn't bring any boys here. Hello you two. It's been a while. Look, I'm sorry for what I did before. And I'm sorry for inadvertently putting you in another situation just like I did before. Just like that soon after. But now that I'm here, everything should be stable. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I'm just glad that you're safe now. Lucia looks at Amelia and they share a knowing look. The other girls are looking at each other with confusion. What does Monica mean? But their train of thoughts are instantly cut when they see Lucia punching Monica in the face. Monica falls on the floor holding her nose. When she pulls it back, she sees that she is bleeding. Monica! What the hell? Amelia just holds her hands out to block them. No, it's okay. I deserve this. What could possibly deserve you getting your nose broken? Honestly, just this would be getting off lightly. That doesn't answer the question, Monica. What could warrant this? Almost getting them killed? They all look at her with surprise as Monica looks away in shame. Lucia walks away as she grabs a chair. Amelia walks up to Monica and holds her hand out, trying to help Monica up. Monica accepts the hand and Amelia pulls her up. But just as quickly as she did, she knees Monica right in the gut and pushes her in the chair that Lucia had pulled out. The other girl tries to rush to her again, but again Amelia just puts her hand out to try to block them. Natsuki is looking angry at them, about ready to try to fight for Monica. But once again, they're interrupted when they hear Lucia tells Monica, "There, now you're part of the Boo Boo Buddy Club." They turn to see Lucia giving Monica a smug smile. Monica looks at her with surprise. Not only is this seeming like she's forgiving her, but she can also feel her nose being healed. Lucia must have used a healing glyph on the bandage that she put on her. Lucia walks away from Monica and towards Amelia. After Monica gets over her shock, she smiles at them. She gets off from the chair and properly introduces them. Okay everyone, I know we got off to a wrong start, but like I said, I totally deserve what they just put me through in. but hopefully we can look past that or restart an introduction, because I like to introduce the newest members of the literature club. This is Lucia Nocera, and this is her girlfriend, Amelia Blight. Are you sure about this, Monica? I am absolutely positive. Watch, I bet you by the end of the day, your opinions of them will change. And so with that, the club starts. The other girls are wary of Lucia and Amelia, but they try their best to go about it as a normal day. The first person that starts to get along with them is Natsuki, specifically with Lucia. Lucia sees the mangas that Natsuki's pulling out from the closet. She walks over to them, and Natsuki notices her, but to her surprise, Lucia is actually asking about the mangas that she has. Still wary, she tells her about the manga. When Lucia pulls one of the mangas out from there, Natsuki is preparing herself for a fight. But when she looks at her, she's intrigued by it. Parfait Girl just looks like a normal Magical Girl manga. She compares Magical Girl to her favorite book, The Good Witch Azora, and so she asks Natsuki about it, which catches Natsuki by surprise. She tells her about the manga, and Lucia is actually pretty interested in it. She asks if she can read it, to which greatly surprised Natsuki. She says sure, and so she sits down and reads it. Natsuki tries to read her manga, but she's looking at Lucia and is honestly surprised. She looks like she's enjoying the book itself, which causes Natsuki to smile. Maybe Monika's right. The next person to start getting along with them is Sayori. She sees Natsuki and Lucia talking, and Natsuki is actually looking a bit happy. She's talking to somebody about her genuine interest. Sayori walks up to them and just asks how are things going. Natsuki tells her that we're doing pretty fine. Lucia actually likes Parfait Girls. And Lucia says that, yeah, this manga is pretty good. Honestly reminds me of the Good Witch Azora book. The Good Witch Azora? I never heard of that book. I wouldn't really expect you to. Not only is the book from America, but it's not necessarily popular. Or maybe you like, I can actually give you the book right now. I have it in my bag. Oh, sure, I can take a look at it. To which Lucia opens her bag and pulls out the book. Natsuki asks about the bat that's sticking out of her bag, and she tells him that this bat is basically her main weapon. She tells him that she was from New York before she was here, to which Natsuki just nods, and Sayori says that she heard that New York was kind of a rough place. After reading the book a little bit, Sayori starts asking about the book, to which Lucia excitedly starts talking about it. And so, Sayori, Natsuki, and Lucia starting to get along. The last person to get along with them is Yuri. She looks at Natsuki and Sayori talking to Lucia. Yuri looks at them kinda concerningly. She's scared for them, but she keeps to herself. Amelia walks up to her and tells her that she doesn't need to be scared, which unsurprisingly scares Yuri. Amelia pulls up a chair and sits across Yuri. She tells her that Lucia has a way with people. She can sneak their way into their hearts, even if she makes a bad first impression. Yuri notices that when Amelia says this, not only is she looking at Lucia, but she's looking at her with such fondness and love in her eyes. Honestly, sometimes it baffles me how we ended up dating. We hated each other when we first met, but like I said, she has a way of sneaking into people's hearts, and she certainly snuck her way into mine. Lucia says this with a softness in her voice, which calms down Yuri. Yuri looks over to the group talking and says that she kinda knows how that feels, having somebody who may have had a bad first impression sneak their way into her heart. She doesn't look at anyone in particular, but she knows that feeling. Amelia grabs Yuri's wrist and brings her over to the group. Yuri kinda protests, but Amelia just says that they shouldn't miss this, to which Yuri just reluctantly lets herself get dragged. When Monica notices that the group had gathered together, she looks at him with a smile and walks over to them and starts talking with the group. As the day ends, everyone says their goodbyes as they walk home. Lucia, Amelia, and Monica are just left at the school. Lucia and Amelia looks at Monica and asks, well, where are they gonna go? Monica doesn't know because she doesn't have a home. Lucia looks at her with confusion and doubt, but Monica assures her that she doesn't have a home. She was never programmed or written with one, so we can only go so far as what the game originally gave us. But Lucia and Amelia looked at each other. When they turn back to Monica, they says, I don't think that's the case. When you weren't here, Sayori brought the group to an arcade buffet thing. Hearing this surprises Monica. She didn't see anything like that when she was tampering with the files. Lucia says that why don't we check the school's files? Maybe they have something there that you just don't remember. To which surprises Monica. She immediately shuts this down, saying that it's illegal, which causes Amelia to chuckle. Don't worry, she's been taught by the professional, which greatly concerns Monica. When they're in the principal's office, Lucia and Amelia are looking through all the files trying to look for Monica's. Monica's looking around concerned that they might get caught. After a little bit of searching, they find Monica's files, and they say they actually have a house not too far from where Sayori is. So they write down the address, put away the files, and heads over to there. When they reach the house, they find that it is a nice small house. Not having a key on her, Monica tries to look around, but Lucia just ends up picking the lock. When Lucia is doing this, Amelia just asks why didn't she pick the school's lock when they needed to go somewhere. To which Lucia just shrugs it off, which causes Amelia to roll her eyes. As Lucia unlocks the door, they step in and is surprised by how nice the house is. It's a little lavish, but it's still not lavish enough to be considered a rich house. They look around trying to find anyone, Monica even calling out for her parents, to which nobody's answer. They look around again until Lucia finds a stack of letters. She calls them over to the letter. When they see who sent the letter, they see that it is from Monica's parents. From reading all the letters, they can see that Monica's parents are across seas. They let her stay in the house by herself because this is where her only friends were. They knew she had trouble making friends, so they would have gladly left Monica this house so long as Monica wanted it and she can be happy. Lucia and Monica are surprised by this, especially Monica. A backstory would make sense for Monica, but considering that she wasn't one of the main candidates for the player, having an in-depth backstory like this just would be a waste. Amelia walks around and finds pictures and portraits of what looks to be a young Monica up until the current Monica with two other people, presumably her parents. Monica looks at it with surprise. She needs a moment to think this over, to which they let her. Monica just goes straight to her room. She tells them to help themselves. So when Monica goes to her room, she's surprised by how simple it is. It's not like how it would look for just a simple guest bedroom or anything. It's just a simple room that does have her personal stuff in it. But despite that, she still has some things that she can obviously tell was gifted to her from the girls. Like a small plush cow, most likely given to her by Sayori, a collection of manga given to her by Natsuki, and some calligraphy stuff given to her by Yuri. She lays down on her bed and thinks. About a week or two later, the events of Doki Doki Literature Club starts taking place, with the exception of Lucia and Amelia are part of the club now. As Sayori is introducing the MC, who I will call Michael, it is immediately apparent to Lucia what the situation is. This is a straight up plot point for a freaking harem story, and Lucia calls it out, which surprises everybody. The only one that it doesn't surprise and the only one who doesn't try to defend Michael is Monica. Now Monica isn't defending Lucia, but Monica isn't berating Lucia. The same thing with Amelia, but she just doesn't really care. Stepping out of the story for a bit, unlike in the game, both DDLC and the FNF mod, MC will not be a part of this story. He will not be a part of the group. If anything, MC will be a recurring side character. Just like in the original game, Michael joins the literature club, and Monica has everyone write a poem for each club meeting. I'm not going to get into the specific of the poem that Lucia and Amelia would have written, but I think Lucia would write something about not feeling like she belongs or something like that, while Amelia will probably write some poem that says, hey, fuck my mother or something like that, to vent out her frustration with their parents. And then once again, the situation will start playing out again how it does in the actual DDLC game, with an exception that whoever Michael chooses to help, whether it be Yuri or Natsuki, it doesn't get as sexually charged as it does in the original game, because once again Lucia had pointed out that the whole situation was basically a setup for a harem plotline. So when the conversation ended, Lucia just told everyone just to be careful around him, which is the case. Again, whether he went with Natsuki or Yuri, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have a sexual tension like it does in the original game, because they are cautious when it comes to being around him, because what Lucia said about this being a perfect plot point for a harem plotline rings true in their head. So they're kind of wary on that, keeping some distance but not enough to basically stonewall him or just make him feel unwelcome. Anyways, while they were setting up for the festival, Lucia and Amelia were helping Monica come up with the design to set up the room for the festival day. By the time the festival rolls around, everyone had prepared not only poems, but some stories that they can perform. So while everyone's getting ready in the club room to prepare, Lucia and Emilia are just hanging around at the festival, just enjoying their time. By the time Lucia sees that they need to be at the club soon, she drags Emilia to the club room as everyone is already dressing up in their costumes for their performance. While Lucia and Emilia weren't surprised by their group's costume, they were kind of surprised by how well they pulled it off. Yuri being dressed like a nun, Natsuki dressed like a cat boy, wearing fake cat ears with a fake cat tail, with a simple hoodie and jeans. With Sayori wearing a sweater that hangs off her shoulder, but wearing an undershirt to block off anything that might be showing. And Monica wearing a basketball uniform. There you guys are! Where the hell were you? Hey, give us a break, alright? We wanted to look around. Look around, we have to perform, you know. You were the one that backed up Monica with this. Alright, fine. We got carried away. Is that what you wanted to hear? Natsuki, give them a break, okay? They're only here for a little while, so why not let them enjoy their time for a little bit? And plus, they're the last one to perform anyway, so... Money's right, don't be so hard on them, Natsuki. Fine. Okay, everyone, this is the day. Michael has already set up the speakers, so now it's up to us to show everyone that literature can be much more than just reading a book. It's when we read these stories, we bring the world alive in some way or another. Is everyone ready? I'm ready, Monty. So am I. Yeah, we're ready. What about you, pretty boy? Are you ready? I'm not performing, sorry. And with that, everyone, let's Yuri take the first performance. She picks up the mic that was on the speaker, pulls out her phone to look at the script that she prepared. She takes a deep breath and begins her performance. This story is about a nun who tries to share the word of God with a chainsaw. We start off in an abandoned building. A young demon living in the human realm comes to find someone with the help of his lover. As Yuri is getting nervous, Emilia grabs one of the mics that was being prepared, turns it on. She pulls out her phone that was given to her by Monica and taught how to use by Lucia. She scrolls to Yuri's story and picks off where she left off. He finds who he's looking for. After arguing with him for a bit, this nun appears out of nowhere, interrupting their conversation. Yuri looks at her with surprise. Hey, what the heck you do to him? She immediately knows what Emilia is trying to do. She looks over to the group and sees Lucia, who gives her a nod. Yuri takes a deep breath and slowly walks over to Emilia, trying to look intimidating. No longer looking at the story in their hands, they start enacting out the scene. Emilia takes a step back, knowing that Yuri is being threatening at the moment. Crap. You better watch it. I have a weapon on me. Lucia pulls Monica close to her. Hey, do you think you can use your powers to kind of visualize the scene a bit more? Monica looks at her surprised. Don't worry, I'll get Emilia's attention. She can do illusion magic pretty well. All you need to do is just change the mind that they're visualizing it. Let them see it in their mind. That's all I'm asking you to do. After waiting for a moment, Monica hesitantly says yes. Using Lucia as cover, Monica pulls up a console command. Lucia waves over Emilia, which does catch Emilia's attention. She pulls out a glyph and motions a circle in her hand. She points over to Monica, who she sees who has a console command. Emilia doesn't really know what Lucia wants her to do. She can guess that Lucia wants her to do magic, but what does Monica have something to do with it? She doesn't really know, so she goes with the safer option and uses illusion magic. When she sees Emilia pulls out the phone and points the story, it immediately clicks to Emilia what Lucia wants her to do. And so she pours more magic into the illusion spell, and the scenery changes around them. Yuri now has the chainsaw in her hand as she steps closer to Emilia, and with a quick swing of the chainsaw, Emilia was able to dodge it. Emilia, who too has had to use the illusion on herself, is now dressed in a tuxedo with demon horn protruding from her head. Well, looks like you're not all bark after all. You will meet God! And with that, Yuri once again lunges at her with the chainsaw, Amelia once again dodges the chainsaw attack. She's about to use her magic again to summon Abomination, but she sees Lucia again telling her not to do that, and doing finger pistol with her hands, trying to simulate using guns. Amelia, who does know what guns are thanks to watching movies from this world, uses her Abomination to make a makeshift gun and cast an illusion spell to make it look like a real gun. With Yuri once again charging at Amelia, Amelia was able to jump over Yuri and fire her gun at her. Yuri was able to bring her chainsaw up to block the bullets. This goes on back and forth for a bit, with Yuri either trying to impale her or just rip her to shreds with the chainsaw, and Amelia dodging and firing her gun at Yuri. Look, it's obvious that you're some kind of religious nutjob hell-bent on sending me to see God. But, how about I take you to meet God with me? This gets Yuri to stop. She looks at her for a bit, thinking, and just gives her a smile. Amelia, who knows that this is where the performance ends, dismisses the illusion just as Monica stops messing with the code. Everything around them goes back to the classroom. The audience that was in the classroom give a round of applause to both Yuri and Amelia. Yuri looks surprised. For a moment there, she felt like she was actually this character. Yeah, she's gone into books like that before, but this felt intense. She looks at Amelia, who gives her a proud smile. She looks over to the group again, who are applauding her. Yuri once again bows to everyone and hands over her mic to Natsuki. Amelia walks back to the group, handing the microphone back to Michael, just as Natsuki is introducing herself and her performance. She admits to everyone that she chose to perform this story because the cover was just that of a cute cat. And so she tells the story of an arcade owner who is proud of not only the arcade that he managed to keep in business in this time of age, but who just so happens to have highest score in DDR. One day his friend and his girlfriend walks in, supposedly on a date. Seeing how he was close friends with this guy, he jokingly hits on his girl. His friend knows that he's joking, but he does get a little protective of his girl. So to showcase both that he knows that he's being playful, but to also showcase that not to hit on his girl, he challenges him to his favorite game, DDR. The arcade owner gladly accepts, even making a remark saying that if he wins, he gets his girl. His friend just rolls his eye as they start up the arcade machine. They go back and forth on this DDR machine, going for 3 rounds, both of them seemingly at equal strength. However, the arcade owner, knowing that his friend is taking this very seriously, decides to throw him a little bone and give him the win in the last round. The arcade owner congratulates his friend, but his friend knows what he did. He gives him a smile, playfully punches him in the shoulder as he continues his date with his girlfriend. Everyone gives a round of applause to Natsuki. Natsuki hands over the mic to Sayori, who does her performance about a girl who was once promised to be with a boy forever. However, this boy seems to have broken his promise and prefers to be with another man who, according to this girl, shot up a school. But according to the boy that she loved, he was framed. They manage to meet again at a train station, with the boy seeming to be running away from his parents. She tries to convince her childhood friend to stay with her, to not break their promise, but he just can't fulfill that promise. If that promise means staying with his abusive parents, being forced into a life that he does not want, he cannot keep that promise. He still wants her in his life, but he cannot be her lover. This girl tries everything she can to try to get him back to her, to not break her promise. During Sayori's performance, Lucia has a flashback of her and her mother out in the rain in the human world, being a projection from the lights of the headlights of her mom's car. She explains to her mom that she did not run away because of her. Yeah, everything else sucked, but if anything, it was everything else. Yeah, it hurt that her mother wouldn't really stick up for her anymore. It hurt immensely, but her mother was not the sole reason she ran away. She couldn't tell her mom everything as she was being pulled away. Her mom desperately wanted her to stay, but Lucia can't make that promise, at least not right now. So her mother asked her to make a promise that when she makes a portal back to the human world, that she will stay. Lucia tries to get a word in, but her mom is pleading with Lucia to stay. As she's being pulled away, she looks at her mother's teary eyes and says that she will stay, as tears start rolling down from her eyes. The flashback fades as Sayori finishes her performance. Amelia notices that Lucia was crying during that. She asks her what was wrong, but Lucia just tells her that it's nothing to worry about. But her girlfriend will not accept that. She lets it go for now, but will badger her later. As Sayori hands over the mic to Monica, Monica brings her hands up to Sayori's face to wipe away the tears that was falling down from her face. Sayori didn't even notice that she was crying, but when Monica does this, it surprised her. After a few moments, Sayori just looks at Monica thankfully. Monica once again gives her a smile as she takes the mic and heads over to do her performance. Before Monica takes center stage, she turns over to Lucia and asks if she can help her. Lucia is surprised by this, but she absolutely agrees. As Lucia walks up to the center stage with Monica, Monica introduces herself to the audience and says that she's doing something a little bit different. She actually wrote a song and explains that literature is not just about stories or poems, but music can also be part of literature as well. Lucia immediately knows what Monica is planning with this. After all, when they first met, they did sing. So Lucia pulls out her phone and looks for Monica's documents. And when she finds it, she sees that yes, it is in fact a song. When she scrolls to see her verse, she actually sees that yes, there is some basic verses there. But at the beginning of each one, in parentheses, it says, these are a base for you to use. Do and say whatever you feel is right and organic. Monica gives her a wink and does her performance. Contrary to her outfit, which is more of a basketball player, her song seems to be more about a robot. While Dusk likes to play basketball, it's more just about the robot itself and who he is as a person. When it comes to Lucia's verse, she does follow the notes that Monica has, but seeing that in the first verse that Monica sang was more about the robot and who he is, Lucia immediately knows that yes, this works for her as well, because for a while she just had a hard time figuring out who she is. So it came naturally to Lucia when matching the verse that Monica gave. And with Monica, it was more natural than she thought when it came to the song. In fact, it started to become so natural that Monica decides to be a little cheeky. She uses the console command again, copies Amelia's illusion spell, and does her own. Using the same method that she did with Yuri, she makes everyone believe that they are actually just seeing this in their mind. But to Monica, Lucia, and Amelia, it is all real. Monica's appearance has changed. She's still in her normal school uniform. However, Monica herself looks different. She still has that normal high ponytail, except the what they call hair vents isn't there, and her bangs are more split in the middle. As for Lucia and Amelia, they seem to be different as well. Lucia looks more younger, the strands of hair on the side of her face is gone, and her hairstyle is completely different. She no longer has the red beanie, and her normal jacket and white and purple striped undershirt is replaced with a purple and white hoodie. As for Amelia, she looks a bit younger as well. She's no longer in that crop top and skirt, but is instead in a long black tunic and red leggings. Even her purple hairstyle is different. Both Amelia and Lucia, they actually feel different as well, like they're different people. The singing goes back and forth for a while, their design changing back and forth a couple of times, and when the song ends, everything is back to normal. Monica bows to the audience as they applaud. Lucia walks over to Monica and playfully punches her in the shoulders. Monica rubs the spot where Lucia punched her and just chuckles. Monica hands over the mic to Amelia, who uses an illusion spell and changes both Amelia and Lucia's outfit to two characters from the Good Witch Azora. Monica does a little bit of tinkering to just make the people think that they always had these outfits on. And with that, Lucia and Amelia does their performance by recreating a scene from the Good Witch Azora. Time passes as for the literature clubs to start closing down and cleaning up. Monica lets the others in the literature club go off and enjoy the festival for however long it'll stay open. As Amelia and Lucia are helped cleaning up, Monica walks over to them. I appreciate you two staying to help us put on this performance. On behalf of the literature club, I thank you. Hey, don't mention it. We had fun. Yeah, honestly, I haven't had this much fun in a long time. Now that everyone's left, there's something I want to ask. I know you two asked me to help you find a way back to your world, but I'm still trying to come to grasp that this world was actually real. If you do find a way back to your world, is it alright if we all come with you? I know I should be satisfied that this world is real, but the knowledge that there's more out there won't really put me at ease. So not only seeing other worlds myself would be great, but I can give the others an opportunity to see what's beyond their homes and schools. I honestly think they would love it. But what about the one that you were longing for? You know, the one that you did all this for? Honestly, I don't really care about that anymore. I just wanted something real, and this world is real, so I'm fine with never being able to see them again. It doesn't matter.
A few days after the festival, Monica would be standing on the rooftop, alone with her thoughts, just looking out into the sky. We would cut to a flashback of Monica in her room, still trying to process everything that is happening. She doesn't know how this is all possible. When she looked into the code, none of this stuff was here. She didn't have a home, she didn't have a backstory, or at least one in depth like this. I mean, hell, there wasn't even that arcade place that Lucia and Emilia went to. None of that was there. Monica has no idea what is going on. She doesn't know how this is all possible. They try to make some explanation, but nothing is just sticking. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know, shot in the dark. What if you just saw through to a world where this was a game? Monica asked Lucia to clarify some more, but Lucia says this is the thing that you would expect for somebody with god powers to have. Normally in media, when people are given god status, it usually means that they have a power so beyond the main character. But when you really think about it, especially with the Bible, with God and Jesus Christ, they've done things that the gods in many fiction can't really do, or something that the main character themselves can do as well, and they're supposed to be mortal. Monica, and by an extension Sayori, they were able to create things out of nothing, delete things, and in Monica's case, just rework the characters so much. Add on the fact that Monica can supposedly break through the fourth wall of the supposed game. If Monica is a real god, then it will make sense. Monica tries to counter about the codes and whatnot, but again, Lucia just goes back to the argument that she was looking into a world where this was a game. And normally with that, you can only find what you are focusing on, which is the same mentality of trying to find something but you don't see it, even though it's in front of your eyes. Emilia tries to chime in about Monica's console-like ability, but again, Lucia just says that this is probably just how her power manifested. They try to ask more information, but Lucia just doesn't have all the answers. She just tells them, I don't fucking know, I'm just spitballing ideas here. And yet you're the one that's coming up with all the answers. We're dealing with someone with god powers, Emilia. It's gonna be hard to figure out what exactly her powers are, but yet you still seem to know about it all. Fucking, I don't have all the answers, Emilia. If I end up getting god powers, I'll tell you how easy it is to figure this shit out, okay? Fuck. With that new outlook that Lucia given her, Monica's power starts to manifest completely. No longer is her power bounded by seeing through to a world where hers is a game. She can now manipulate anything in her world if she so wishes. That flashback ends as Monica takes a deep breath. It is true. Because like a day or two after the festival, it was basically confirmed that Lucia was right. She pulls out something from her bag, which is a small black box. She opens it and sees a gift that she originally got for Sayori. Monica has been making an attempt to apologize to what she did to Sayori because she hurt Sayori the most, getting her to basically end herself, which is not fine. Granted, what she did to the other two wasn't great either, but Sayori was already dealing with shit. Monica's thoughts are once again interrupted when Natsuki walks out the door leading to the rooftop. Ah, Natsuki, what are you doing here? I expect you and the others to still be in class. Don't worry about that. I told my teacher that I was going to go to the bathroom. I was actually looking for you, Monica. I wanted to thank you, for letting me be part of the club. Oh, you're welcome? Where's this coming from? It's just, I know how hard it is to deal with me. Hell, Lucia and Emilia are easier to deal with than me, and they're the school's delinquent. I just sometimes feel like I shouldn't be here. Hey, don't say that, Natsuki. I mean, if they could be here, then so can you. I can assure you, from the bottom of my heart, that the impression that you leave on the club is just too special. It wouldn't have been the same without you. After Monica says this, Natsuki just looks away.
Tears slightly start coming out of her eyes, but she smiles. Thanks, Monica. I really appreciate it. Of course. They stand there for a bit, just enjoying each other's presence. That is until Yuri walks through the door to the rooftop. There you are, Monica. I hope I'm not interrupting anything. Yuri, we were just talking. Oh, I see. Natsuki? May I talk to Monica alone? Oh, sure. I'll be over there. Natsuki points to the other end of the rooftop. As they both acknowledge that Natsuki's gonna walk out the conversation, Yuri walks up to Monica as Natsuki walks away. So, what you need? This may be a little odd for me to say out of nowhere, but thank you. You too. What for? It's because of everyone in the club. That discomfort I feel, with being around other people and doing things in front of them, it's been gradually subsiding the more we do things together as a club. Like the writing, playing, or just talking. It's all been giving me a better alternative to releasing my emotion. I'm so happy to hear you say that, Yuri. I have been noticing that you've been stepping out of your comfort zone a lot more, and that you and Natsuki have been getting a lot closer as well. Yeah. That's honestly because of Amelia. When she told me how Lucia had snuck her way into her heart, and whenever they weren't fighting, they would have a great time together. I just thought about me and Natsuki. Whenever we're not at each other's throats, we get along pretty well. Oh, I see. Monica says as she looks at Yuri with a knowing grin. Yuri immediately blushes at this, immediately knowing what Monica's thinking. It's not like that, Monica. It's not like I want to date Natsuki. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't want to date Natsuki. I mean, she is attractive, but I'm not saying that. It's okay, Yuri. You don't need to explain yourself. Thank you. I appreciate you giving me your time, Monica. As Yuri says this, they hear the roof's door is being swung wide open. Quickly running through the door was Sayori with a prep in her step. Hey, Monica. Hey, Yuri. I see you came here too. I'll leave you two alone to talk. Yuri then walks over to the other end of the rooftop with Natsuki. As Yuri does, Sayori skips over to Monica. So, what got you in a high spirit today? Your smile's the biggest I've ever seen. That's because today's just been a really good day. I woke up early, made myself a really good breakfast. I even checked out that Good Witch Azora book Lucia talked about. And even though it's only in English, it's still a fun read. And to top it off, I get to see your pretty face. As Sayori says this, Monica blushes a little. Sayori, you don't mean that. Of course I do. Ever since Lucia and Amelia joined the club, you and I become really close. You're even making Michael a little nervous with how close we've gotten. Yeah, we have. Monica looks away, ashamed, thinking back to what she did to Sayori. You're making that look again. What? That look. I've noticed it ever since that day too. Are you okay? Monica stares at Sayori, and while she can see the concerned look on Sayori's face, she also sees the lifeless look of Sayori being hung in her room. I'm sorry. I can't tell you. Not now, anyways. Monica tries to step away, but Sayori pulls her into a hug. It's okay. Just know that whatever it is, we won't look down on you. After all, we didn't look down on you after you told us that you almost got them killed. So, why would we start now? Sayori. This gives Monica to tear up. Not wanting to let the tears fall, Monica gives her a hug back. The hug lasts for a few seconds until they pull back. As they do, Sayori grabs a hold of Monica's hand. As she does, she feels the box that was in Monica's hand. What's this? Oh, I got you something. Monica opens the box and takes out what was inside it. It was a necklace with 3 charms on it. A sun and 2 clouds on either side of it. I wanted to give something to you. Show how much I appreciate you. Sayori's surprised by the gift and smiles at it, which actually makes Monika's heart flutter. Sayori turns away, which kinda confuses Monika, but she turns her head slightly to look at Monika and asks her to put it on her. Monika gladly does, as she hooks it around her neck. Sayori once again thanks Monika for this gift. Their moment is interrupted when Natsuki butts in. Ha! Gay! Natsuki? What? I'm just saying, it was freaking gay. Monika stutters at this, trying to dispel it, but Sayori decides to be a little bit of a troll and just asks Natsuki if she's jealous that she has someone like Monika, which causes Monika to blush even more. Yeah, right. I just asked you don't be gay like Lucia and Emilia. What do you mean? Don't tell me you haven't been paying attention to those two, being all lovey-dovey. They may be delinquents, but they're even more fruity than the fruitiest of fruits. The other thinks back on this, only to realize something. They've only ever seen this when Natsuki was around. Natsuki? They're not normally like that. Yeah, I think they're mainly doing that just to annoy you. What? Ah, dicks! Both of them! I swear, next time they're in Japan, I'm gonna punch them. Yeah. It's a shame they left on such short notice. I would have loved to see them off. Yeah, it's a shame. I just wish we at least got their emails or something, so we can chat with them online. Monika, they lived with you for a bit, right? Don't you have their number? Yeah, I do, but they still haven't answered me yet. They all look out into the sky, just enjoying each other's presence and the breeze of the outdoors. They can only wait until one day they get to see them again. 2 weeks passes since that day. Monika and Sayori gotten so close that they are considered dating, but it is not confirmed. However, Yuri and Natsuki are in fact dating. They're all at a cafe. Could be considered a double date, but it's just mainly a group of friends hanging out. Monika now has a necklace that matches Sayori, but in the opposite sense. Monika has a moon with 2 stars on the other side. They exit the cafe, walking down the road, talking about what they should do next. That is until they hear a familiar voice. They turn around and see Lucia and Emilia, the 2 other persons, each of them having a little animal creature. Lucia! Emilia! The other 4 scream as they run up to her. Hey, it's been a while. Yeah, what are you doing here? We got the portal working, Monika, Lucia says, which confuses the other 3. Portal? The hell are you talking about? I'll tell you in a bit. First, let me introduce you guys. This right here, Lucia walks over to the girl with an orange long jacket and glasses on. It's my best friend and wingman, Wyona. What's up? This right here is some bitch who keeps following us and claims to not have a crush on my best friend, Bosha. She says, pointing over to the pink-haired Triclops whose third eye is stitched closed. Natsuki, Yuri, and Sayori look at each other in confusion. These are our talisman. Bosha's talisman, the crab over there, is Maya. Wyona's talisman, that bee on her shoulder, is named Clover. Amelia's talisman, this white cat over here, is Ghost. And mine, this snake thing here, is String Bean. Hold on. What the fuck is going on here? You didn't tell them yet, Monika? No, I didn't think it was the right time. Monika? I thought you would have told them by now. Shit. Well, you can tell them after I show you guys this. Come follow us. Lucia and her group leads the dope girl to an alleyway where a door stands. Lucia opens it up with confidence, and on the other side of that door is the demon realm. Come on, Lucia says as her group runs through. Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki looks at Monika with concern. Come on guys, it won't be bad, she says with confidence. Though weary, they follow Monika through the door. On the other side of the door, they see that they're close to a forest, but when they look out of the cliff, they see part of a big skeleton. Specifically, what looks to be like a rotting corpse. Welcome to the Boiling Isles. Perfect. Now all that's left is to wait for the Day of Unity.
Yeah, and now we...
What is it, Collector?
That presence is back. There's 2 of them now.
What do you mean?
I mean, there's 2 of that presence. I don't know what that is. And I don't want to know what it is. I'll check on you later.
This isn't the first time the Collector mentioned this presence. Of course, it was only for a brief moment. What did you do?
We would continue just after the festival. Monika's power has almost completely manifested itself to where she doesn't need to have a console-like thing to use her powers. Lucia and Emilia are in her living room doing whatever. Monika comes to them and says that she might have figured out how to do something. After telling them her plan, she starts to enact the plan, which involves pulling up that console command. At first, Lucia's like, why you needed to do that? I thought you didn't need that. But Monika explains that it just makes things easier to do, especially if she needs to do something that involves a certain person and she needs to be extra specific. Looking through Lucia's memory, she sees a location in the demon realm. She tries to use her powers to figure out a way to basically open a portal. But unfortunately, because she has not mastered the power itself, she just accidentally sends Lucia and Emilia somewhere. Monika hoped that she sent them back to where they needed to be. To their relief, Monika does send them to the right place. They immediately go to the Owl House to try to find Ida. And when they get there, they see her, Wyona, and Boscha all scrambling together. The one doing the main work is Ida and Wyona. Boscha is there kind of to support, but of course Boscha would never admit that. When they make themselves known, it relieves any of the stress that is on Ida and Wyona. Lucia and Emilia explains what has happened to them during dinner. They missed the meal of the demon realm, especially Lucia, even though she can't really stomach a lot of the meals there because her anatomy won't allow it. But she misses it. In fact, Ida even lets her drink some apple blood, which Lucia may or may not have snuck in a couple of bottles before, which Ida may or may not know that Lucia has done that before. Now that they're back, Lucia kind of wants to immediately work on the portal again, but Ida and Wyona are kind of apprehensive. Emilia can kind of assume why Lucia wants to do this, so she won't really be against it, but she is not thrilled about it. While working on the portal, Lucia goes more into detail about how she felt with these group of girls. And during that, Lucia kind of has an epiphany on what it is that she truly wanted, and surprisingly had to do with nearly dying 3 times. She wanted to be understood for who she was, who she is. And even though these girls, even though they have their problem did not define them. She wanted that. She wanted that same understanding so much. And everyone here in the Boiling Isle, even the haters like Boscha, they don't hate her because she's deemed a problem child. No, they hate her because she causes problems to them personally. Ida chuckles at this because Lucia is kind of flubbing her own words, but Ida says that she understands. After a brief silence, Ida asks Lucia if she wants to start trying to carve her talisman. Lucia is surprised by this and asks if she thinks she's ready, but Ida assures her that she is ready. She found what it is that she truly wanted, and they have the talisman wood. They can do it right now. And so they start working on Lucia's talisman. Just like in the original, Lucia does not want to predetermine what the talisman will be. She will let the talisman themselves decide. And so after carving the egg and stating what it is that she truly wishes, the egg hatches and reveals String Emilia and Wyona are surprised when they come to the Owl House and see Lucia has her own talisman. When they bring their talisman over, it's kind of like a little play date between the talisman. Sometimes even Boscha will bring hers in. But while they're doing this, they will still work on the portal until one day they get the portal working. They go through it, they make sure the portal doesn't collapse on itself, which lucky for them, it does not. However, it doesn't have a lot of power, so they quickly close it so they can find the girls. While they're looking for the girls, Wyona and Boscha decide to join them, along with their talisman, as the talisman were having a little play date that day.
And so the events from the last part will start playing out the same, but through the perspective of Lucia and her friends. After introducing them to the Boiling Isles, Lucia takes the Doki girls around Bonesborough, showing them the many sights as well as keeping them from any danger, even explaining the history of Bonesborough as best as she can. Of course, with Amelia and the others filling in for what Lucia cannot answer. They even go to Hexside, and the girls are pretty interested that there is a school here for witches. While there, an argument kinda kicks off against Bosha and Wyona about the rugby match that they had before. Lucia once again saying that it didn't count because of the stupid golden snitch or whatever it was called, but Bosha still kinda holds it over their head. The Doki girls tend to agree with Lucia. That is of course when Natsuki starts talking shit, and in fact, Natsuki bets that her and the other girls can beat Bosha, to which Bosha takes this challenge head on. And because Bosha doesn't really have her team, Lucia and her friends would have to team up with Bosha. They're really apprehensive about this, not really wanting to, but they don't really have a choice. However, to make things fair, Lucia suggested that they all only use glyph magic, and due to an overwhelming vote being 5 against 3, they still would have been outvoted. Thanks to Monika's help, she was able to make the glyphs in infinite use. And so with that, a match between Lucia and her friends against Monika and her friends. The match goes pretty well. About as would you expect, Natsuki is the main MVP of the Doki girls, while the others aren't really too helpful. But ultimately the battle goes to Lucia and her group. After that, the girls go back to their world, with Monika making the portal more stable to be used frequently. In fact, she was even able to make an accessory for each of the girls to have, so that they don't need Monika or the door to come back to the Boiling Isle whenever they want. While back in their world, Monika has a conversation with the other girls. Monika comes clean to the other girl. She tells them that she has god powers, and that when she first found out, she saw into a world where hers was a game. So desperately wanting that one thing that she thought was real, she ended up manipulating the others' codes. She made Sayori's depression so bad that she killed herself. She made Yuri so obsessive. And Natsuki, even though she didn't change Natsuki's, she did change her home life, basically making Natsuki's neglectful father into an abusive one. Everyone doesn't really take this very lightly. They kinda understand, but they still need time to properly take this all in. So Natsuki and Yuri goes home, but Sayori hangs back a little more. She has a look of betrayal on her face. Monika has not told them that Sayori also did this too when she got this power. Monika exclaims that she'd understand if Sayori never wants to see her again. But Sayori doesn't say anything. She takes off the necklace, and when Monika sees it, she thought she's gonna give it back, but Sayori just says that she needs time to think. And so she walks away with that necklace in her hand. It kinda gives Monika some relief that Sayori didn't just throw it away, but you know, she doesn't expect Sayori to wear it anymore. And she is proven right when the next day she sees them in class. Sayori is not wearing that necklace. In fact, none of the girls come near Monika for a bit. But Monika doesn't really want to con off the club, so she just waits in the club room, but none of them comes in. This goes on for about a few days. Natsuki and Yuri has forgiven Monika because they've looked at it as if they had this power, they might have done the same thing. And so while they're not excusing Monika's behavior, they can understand it. Sayori does come back to the club, but she doesn't say whether or not she forgives her. A day or two passes, and Amelia walks in during a club meeting. They ask her what she's doing here, and she just says that she just felt like coming here. She just wanted to talk with them and see how things been going. They say that everything's been fine, that they've made up with Monika, well except for Sayori, who just kinda doesn't really say anything. Amelia understands this, so they ask how things going on with her and Lucia. She just tells her that things are still going great. Right now, Lucia is currently making a plan with Ida and King to invade the Emperor's mind, which kinda concerns them, but she tells them that they're basically just gonna look into his mind to expose him and whatnot. She doesn't know the full details on it, but she just gives them what she knows. After a pause, Yuri asks some information about their relationship, like how they met and all that. And even though Lucia told them a bit about the story, she goes more into detail, explaining how she hated Lucia, how she thought this girl was just somebody who was just throwing a tantrum for not getting what she wanted. But no, that really wasn't the case. When push comes to shove, Lucia shows that she can back up her claims. In fact, when it comes to win-loss ratio, it's dead even. She also explains that after getting a bit to know each other for a little bit, after the fights they started patching each other up. That's where their relationship started to grow. It wasn't until her mother tried to kill Lucia, and so the situation with Amity from the original story happened similarly with Amelia, but again to fit the more darker and mature setting that is the betas. They asked if they ever apologized to each other, but they say they didn't need to. They've always done something with each other to try to apologize. In fact, before they even dated, Lucia actually got Amelia fired from her job at the library, and so she went on some dangerous adventure just to get her job back. After that, basically the situation with the Owl House stays mostly the same, again differences being the characters and the situation. So meaning, yes, the events of Hollowed Mind, I think that's the name of the episode, happens exactly how it does with Hunter, and the episode afterwards happens the same. A few hours after the episode, O Titan, Where Art Thou? And a few hours before, Cloud on the Horizon. If you didn't know, there is basically like a few hour time gap, almost a day, between the two episodes, and that's basically where this is being taken place. As Lucia, Ida, and King are resting up for the Day of Unity, Lucia realizes that the Literature Club might arrive during the Day of Unity, and she doesn't want that at all. She doesn't want them to be involved with this craziness that is happening. So she tells Idas about this, and they quickly comes up with a plan to stop them. She uses her pendant that was made by Monica so that they can travel between Monica's world and the Boiling Isles. She uses her pendant to open a portal to Monica's world. She plans to steal each of the girls' pendants because Monica made one for each of the girls, so they don't need Monica or Lucia to go back and forth. Just before Lucia goes through the portal, Ida tells her to be careful, even though she doesn't really need it. But this was more of a front for Ida, as Ida pickpockets Lucia to steal her pendant, so that Lucia can stay away during the events of the Day of Unity, like Ida tried to do with Luz in the original story. Now keep in mind, the events still happen similarly, so Ida did try like she does in the original story. This is just another way for Ida to try to stop Lucia. However, Ida's plan quickly foiled as Lucia reassures Ida that she's not going to be alone in this task. String Being actually takes Lucia's pendant back and drops it into Lucia's hand. Just as Lucia reassures Ida, she learned from the best. She gives Ida a cheeky smile and goes into the portal. After walking through the portal, Lucia immediately flies onto String Being to head to the school. When they land on the rooftop, Lucia hides String Being in her jacket. Lucia goes through the school to look for the girls, and the first one she finds is Natsuki. Lucia and Natsuki talk a little bit while String Being searches her for the pendant. During their chat, Natsuki tells Lucia that Sayori still isn't talking to Monica. Now Lucia does know this information, as Amelia had told her before the events of Hollowed Mind. After a bit more talking, Natsuki asks if Lucia is going to be at the club meeting today, to which Lucia says that she will be. So after that, she bids Natsuki goodbye so she can look for the other girls. Once they're outside of Natsuki, String Being comes out of hiding and drops Natsuki's pendant in Lucia's hand. This happens with the other girls, with Sayori and Yuri, with either String Being taking the pendant or Lucia herself pickpocketing it. Once she finds Monica, she does the same thing with her. She talks to Monica while String Being searches her person. While talking, Lucia asks Monica if she told them that Sayori had wielded the same power as her and basically did the same thing. But Monica tells her that she has not. She chose to keep that a secret so that Sayori wouldn't feel the guilt that Monica felt. It's just like the other girls, Monica asks if Lucia was going to be at the club meeting, to which Lucia does confirm. She makes up an excuse on why she's not really at the school, basically saying that she was just gonna eat some lunch somewhere and then meet them at the club room. After finishing their conversation, Lucia bids Monica farewell and heads to the rooftop. Once there, String Being drops the last pendant into Lucia's hand. Now that Lucia has all four girls' pendants, she flies on String Beings away from the school, and once they're at a safe distance, she uses her pendant to return to the Boiling Isles. The girls are in the literature club. They're waiting, expecting for Lucia to come in. They wait a little bit, but when Lucia doesn't show up, they try to contact her by calling her phone, but their phone was unable to connect. They know the reason why because this has happened before. Their phone can't connect to Lucia's phone whenever she's in the bowling aisles. Knowing this, it raises some question within the girls. Why did Lucia go back to the bowling aisles if she said she was going to be at the club meeting today? Not really wanting to wait around, they decide to go to the bowling aisles. Natsuki volunteers to use her pendant to open a portal. However, when she goes to look for it, she sees that she cannot find it. She looks around her person again, including her bag, but it is not in there. Sayori suggests that maybe Natsuki has lost it or left it at the house, but Natsuki says that she always has that on her. It is literally one of the very few items that she keeps on her with an iron grip. Yuri says that they'll go look for it later once they get Lucia, to which they all agree. But however, when Yuri goes to get her pendant, she finds that she too is missing it. Confused by this, Sayori looks for her pendant only to find the same result, and Monica having the same result as well. They all discuss on what happened to their pendant. They all had it, but now it's mysteriously gone. Sayori suggests that maybe they lost their pendants, but the fact that they all lost their pendant on the same day is just too much of a coincidence. In fact, the last time they remember having their pendant was before they ran into Lucia. Monica is able to connect the dots that Lucia had came to their world to steal their pendant. Wanting answers, Monica decides to use her power to open a portal to the bowling aisles. Once they step through the portal, they find themselves on the edge of Bonesboro. They try calling Lucia again, and this time she actually picks up. However, instead of answering them, all they can hear on the other side is fighting. Hearing that, it was obviously she didn't mean to answer it. And so, once again, Monica will use her power to locate Lucia and teleport all of them to her location. When they teleport there, Kikimora had just left to take hunters to Bellows. Everyone there is surprised by the group's sudden appearance. The girls don't waste any time and immediately start questioning Lucia about why she stole their pendant. As they continue to press for an answer, Lucia's figure suddenly disappears in a puff of smoke to reveal Hunter. This confuses not only the girls but the group there as well, which causes a bunch more questions for the girls. Meanwhile, the group that was in the fight was putting everything together, and when they see that Lucia had turned into Hunter, it immediately worries them because that means that Lucia was taken by Kikimora to be taken to Bellows. Once the Doki girls starts questioning the group tells them everything that is happening, while Alador takes them to the head of the Titan where the draining spell is occurring. After that, Ida's side of the story would stay basically exactly the same, where she would get a Coven Seal to take Raine's place to infect the draining spell. But however, just like in the original show, it does not work. The draining spell activates, and Raine saves Ida by removing her arm that bears the Coven Seal. Just like in the show, the group arrives to assist anyone and search for Lucia. Ida, not being affected by the draining spell, is able to notice the group had arrived. When Ida sees the Doki girls, it surprised her. Lucia's plan was designed to keep them from arriving during the Day of Unity, but yet it seems to have failed because they're here. Ida asks what's going on, why are they here? But the Doki girls just tells her that they don't really know either. They just found out what is happening themselves and they're still processing it. So the Hex Squad tells Ida what is happening. When Ida learns that Lucia might be with Bellows, Ida grows really worried for her, and she is torn between going to help Lucia or staying with Raine, who is being affected by the draining spell. Raine has to push Ida to go help out Lucia. Basically, it's supposed to be a similar scene with Ida's Requiem, where Raine basically tells Ida to stay with her kid. Hesitantly, Ida agrees to go with the group to help Lucia. Ida uses Albert, who was in her hair by the way, to fly with the group to answer to Titan's head. When Lucia is handed over to Bellows, Bellows knew that it was Lucia before it was even revealed to him. Before Bellows can say anything more than was said in the actual show, Lucia uses a fire glyph at Bellows, which actually causes him to move out of the way. But Lucia knew this, as it was a way for her to get closer. As Lucia gets up, she rushes him to punch him in the face. As he staggers, Dreambeam comes out of her jacket and wraps around one of her wrists, just to make another hit stronger. While doing so, she pulls out an ice glyph and punches him with said glyph, which sends him flying into a pillar. This actually hurts Bellows and surprises him. After picking himself back up, Bellows uses his staff and fires magic at Lucia. This was able to hit Lucia. After firing a couple more magic blasts at her, Lucia runs around trying to lay traps like Luz does in the actual show. However, unlike in the actual show, where Luz is at a disadvantage with Bellows, Lucia takes opportunity to get close to Bellows so that she can physically hit him. And it actually does work a bit, as Bellows needs to get away because he can actually do more damage with magic to Lucia than he can physically. Unlike in the actual show, Lucia doesn't get hit with a slight petrification spell, nor does Bellows get tricked by Lucia like Luz did in the actual show. It's just a straight up fight that happens for a while. The fight goes on for a bit until, just like in King's Tide, the group comes with Lucia. This surprises Lucia when she sees the Doki girls are there, because her plan was to stop them from coming, and yet here they are. Lucia thinks to herself, saying that she should not have said she would have been at the literature club. That probably tipped them off. But what also surprises her is when she sees Ida without an arm. The Hex Squad plus Ida and King immediately goes to help out Lucia against Bellows, while the Doki girls remain on the sidelines because they can't really do anything. Growing deeply concerned, the Doki girls tried to come up with a way to do something. That isn't until one of them thought about Monika's power. They tell her to use her powers to intervene. However, Monika doesn't really know the magic system of the world. Yuri makes an educated guess that everything started happening when the eclipse started. So maybe if Monika is able to move the moon or something, maybe that'll stop the spell. With no other option, Monika tries to do so. It takes a while for her to do so because she still isn't 100% used to this power. But once she does, she stops the draining spell just like the Collector did in the original show. As Monika stops the draining spell, Bellows notices that she is doing so. He recalls the Collector saying that he sensed a power that was really great and it terrified him. Seeing this, he puts 2 to 2 together. Monika is what the Collector was afraid of. At a disadvantage and being ganged up on, Bellows charges towards Monika. He was able to slip past everyone and possess Monika, just like he did with Hunter in the original show. He is amazed by the amount of power that Monika has, and so he tries to use it, but he doesn't have full control of it yet. However, now the group is in a dilemma, as now they need to stop Bellows, but not kill Monika. So they fight Bellows again, but obviously they're holding back a lot more as to not kill Monika. As the fight continues, Bellows still needs to use his sludge form while he learns Monika's power. It gets to a point where Bellows actually pierces through Lucia's body. As Lucia slowly dies, she turns to everyone. I guess this is it. I think I should be used to this by now, but thanks everyone. And with that, Lucia dies similar to how she does in the actual show. The remaining Doki girls, Natsuki, Yuri, and Sayori, really want to do something. They're about to charge in to try to do something, but Ida stops them, just as the Hex Squad, minus Bosha and Hunter, starts to lose himself in their anger. Wanona's magic causes plants to uncontrollably sprout all over the place, being these huge gigantic plants. Meanwhile, Amelia, her body actually starts to deform and become an abomination, similar to Darius, while Ida and King, their transformation is the same as it is in the original show. Driven by their rage, everyone besides the Doki girls charges after Bellows. This includes Bosha and Hunter. Even though they're not as enraged, they're still pretty pissed. Bellows will be using his sludge manipulation ability to fight the group while he is trying to understand Monika's power. Basically, the fight will still play out similarly, but obviously not exactly because, of the situation, to Ida and King's fight against Bellows when he was controlling the Titan. It's something similar to that, but however, instead of it being more like they're fighting an uphill battle, it's more like they're trying to keep up with Bellows as he is getting more used to Monika's power. This eventually culminates to when Bellows discovers Monika's deletion ability. He accidentally does this with Hunter first, which basically gets his attention. Once he realizes that he can do this, he tries to do this more and more until he eventually figures it out, and he starts deleting each of the group one by one, continuing with Bosha, then Willow, Amelia, King, and then Ida. Throughout the battle, however, Sayori's power has been slowly coming back, Due to the overwhelming chaos that is happening, and of everything that is happening, of not being able to help Monica, not being able to reconcile with her, despite how much Monica is trying to make amends. Once Ida gets deleted, Sayori lets out this painful roar as everything starts coming back to her. Memory starts flooding back into her. Her powers burst out from her, which catches everyone's attention as there, Yuri, Natsuki, and Bellows. Sayori gives Bellows one more chance to stop this, but Bellows refuses. Saddened by this, Sayori attacks Bellows, with her first attack being a quick teleportation to Bellows, and with an attack that almost sets Monica free, but Bellows was able to stay in. Bellows counters by attacking Sayori, which sends her flying, and with that, the battle between Sayori and Bellows starts. And the fight is a mirroring of each other, with some differences, like obviously where Bellows would be using his sludge manipulation, Sayori would actually be using abomination magic, similar to what we just saw Amelia do. It doesn't just stop from there. Whenever Bellows would try to spawn things like buildings or cards or whatnot, anything that's just from the Boiling Isles, Sayori will respond doing exactly the same, or in Sayori's case, probably just ends up deleting them. They're starting to get in a stalemate, especially since whenever Bellows tries to use Monica's deletion ability, Sayori is able to cancel it out. Throughout the fight, Natsuki had String Bean in her hand, just pleased with it, asking for his help to stop Bellows and to free Monica. If they're able to free Monica, then they can bring Lucia back. Saying this actually causes String Bean to link with Natsuki. Glad that String Bean is actually going to help her now, Natsuki pulls out one of her glyph cards that she made for herself and flies on a String Bean to go into battle with Sayori. When Natsuki sends a fire spell at Bellows to knock him off course, Sayori makes Natsuki's spell card an infinite use. They're able to push Bellows back a bit, but Bellows is getting more stronger the more he uses his ability. They can only do so much. But however, they gain another upper hand when Yuri comes flying in on Ghost as she sends icicles at Bellows. They are able to pierce him, but however, it does pierce Monica's body. Thanks to Bellows' sludge manipulation, any permanent damage like that doesn't really affect Monica. As Bellows is taking these icicles out of him, Sayori goes to Yuri and makes her ice glyph an infinite use, just like how she did with Natsuki. And so with all three now working together, they all team up to try to stop Bellows, but again, he is still just too strong. With nothing else seeming to work and Bellows just getting more and more stronger, they use a desperate play, which involves Sayori just rushing into Bellows' personal space, digging her hands into Monica's chest just to drag Bellows out of Monica. As she does so, she deletes him before he can do anything else. And with that, Bellows is no more and Monica is free. They rest on one of the giant plants that Winona spawned in, and as Monica slowly comes to, the other gives her a big hug, with Sayori frantically apologizing to Monica about giving her the cold shoulder and everything. Monica tells her that it's fine, but Sayori doesn't want to hear it. She knows that Monica didn't tell them everything. As they're reconciling, they hear a voice behind them. When they turn, they see that it is Lucia in a different form. She congratulates them on stopping Bellows. After getting over their shock, they ask how she's alive and how she's here. To which she tells them that the Titan actually saved her and was actually going to send her back with his power. But before he actually sent her back, he felt a strange power awakening. And so they were basically watching the fight. She was actually on her way back to come and help, but they already finished it. After a bit more talking and resting with the group, with Lucia eventually transforming back, as his ability is permanent for her, Monica was able to regain her strength and use her ability to bring everyone back that Bellows had deleted. When the Hex Squad comes back, they see Lucia and rushes to her. And with that, we would skip 4 years into the future. You see, Lucia and Amelia are married for about a year. Natsuki and Yuri are actually engaged and is set to be wedded soon. Natsuki is actually working at a bakery while Yuri works as a librarian who also happens to rent books out to the Boiling Isles. Sayori and Monica would be dating actually, and they would be living together. Sayori is actually getting her bachelor's degree to become an elementary school teacher, while Monica would actually be working 2 jobs. She would actually be working with Amelia in the Boiling Isles, as well as being an entrepreneur in her world. Amelia would be working as an abomination engineer, while Lucia, she would work many jobs in the Boiling Isles. Her main job would be the Exploration Guild. We will end the story with the group hanging out in Monica's world. They're having a get together with not only just the 6 girls, but basically their parents and stuff like that as well. It's basically like a party of friends and family. It will end with Sayori asking Monica something, which causes Monica to gasp in surprise,